crippling is the WNBA's financial health when its brightest star sits on the bench? What happens to an entire league's momentum when one player's absence sends viewership into freefall?
Clearly, that's a foul.
And it's contact to the face as well. It'll be interesting.
It is devastating to the league when Caitlin Clark is sidelined. Expectations of a modest decline in ratings turned into a seismic collapse as television audiences vanished. When Clark exited the court with a left quad strain, the WNBA's empire teetered on a precipice. Suddenly, half of the nationwide TV audience simply disappeared. No other athlete in sports history commands that level of influence. When she's out, the league is effectively invisible. The WNBA once basked in an unprecedented surge of interest, with arenas filling and broadcast numbers smashing records. Yet with Clark injured again, this time a groin issue, the same dominoes fell. Viewership plunged more than 50% across all games, sponsors are panicked, ticket revenue has cratered, and the league that surged into the spotlight on Clark's shoulders now flounders without her.
To know if they're going to look at that first one for a flagrant foul. There was an impact, but there wasn't wind-up or follow-through, but
the stark reality bounces off the data. Over the 5 games she missed earlier this season, the average audience dipped from 1.81 million down to 847,000 viewers. That collapse isn't confined to the Fever Zone broadcasts. It infects every WNBA telecast. In an era engineered for drama and social media spectacle, facts have become rarer than sold-out games in Clark's absence. This isn't just about ratings, it's a scandalous free fall exposing the league's over-reliance on a single talent.
Game of the season. The Fever are 2-3 without her. Those 9 assists per game right up there.
Call it the era of Clark dependence. The moment she limped off the court on May 24th, a league-wide alarm sounded. Nobody wanted to admit it, but the WNBA's fate was tethered to her health. Now that she's sidelined once more, the same catastrophe is replaying. And yet, league executives shrug as if incensed fans and bottomless sponsor wallets will magically return.
Yeah.
Will Bay be here?
Who?
Is Bay gonna be here?
No, he's working. Yeah. Yeah, I'm flying solo. I better get used to it, man. This is the pro. This is my job.
Television viewership nationally sank by 55%. Road games relocated to larger venues to accommodate Clark's fan base are now embarrassingly half empty. The Fever's marquee rematch with the Sky, which once commanded a 2.25 million stream audience, now draws apathetic double-digit thousands. Ticket prices that soared to $860 for a prime matchup have plummeted beneath $250. The average price tag across all her missed games plunged from $13.70 to a paltry $80. That reflects the brutal truth of who drives fandom in this league.
Excellent passing season as well. Her assist numbers, oh no, Caitlin Clark has yet. So Ryan Howard picks up the foul.
While Clark was rewriting history with capacity crowds and record-breaking TV ratings, the WNBA did nothing to shield its most valuable asset. Instead, they let opponents pummel her with impunity, as if publicizing dangerous fouls served competitive integrity. Yet when Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan missed time, their leagues protected them fiercely. Here, Clark is left exposed, a farcical spectacle for self-proclaimed purists. The WNBA's refusal to learn from history is costing millions every single day.
She had on her shoulders coming into the ankle roll one more time, right? That's rookie seasons. And
the looming collective bargaining agreement heightens the stakes. Success in negotiations could transform every WNBA salary, and every player has an interest in cultivating growth. But with fans boycotting games in protest of the league's handling of Clark, viewership metrics have become a bargaining chip, one the players' union could leverage to demand more. Without Clark, those numbers are unrecognizable compared to this league's golden age.
Walk me through your perspective on the flagrant foul, and what was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know? Either Angel gets...
This isn't the first time the WNBA has bled ratings when its star talent is sidelined, yet executives watch each debacle unfold as if they've never seen it before, like a chef accidentally burning the same recipe repeatedly. They speak of competitive balance, but genuine balance means protecting the players who anchor the league's brand, not forging artificial parity at the expense of superstar safety. Clark's rookie season was a study in humility and promise. She praised teammates publicly and deflected media attention. Yet jealousy and petty politics poisoned the celebration, leaving her vulnerable. Now the sponsors who invested millions based on her dazzling appeal are questioning their commitment. Broadcast partners, whose contracts hinge on audience metrics, are growing skittish. The entire WNBA ecosystem trembles. It all comes back to one number, a 55% drop without Clark. The league averaged 555,000 viewers this season sans her, well under last year's baseline of 670,000. That is a return to irrelevance. Empty arenas and lifeless broadcasts that once only haunted fringe sports. This collapse was entirely preventable had the league chosen foresight over hubris.
Wide open 2 points, or, we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
Fans have grown weary of manufactured controversy. They tune in for genuine excellence. Clark's mesmerizing range, her fearless drives, her clutch shot making. Yet the league insists on framing every cheap shot as just basketball. When Clark gets slapped to the floor, she's labeled too sensitive if she objects. If she shrugs it off, she's deemed not tough enough. This Kafkaesque trap leaves her and the fans frustrated. Meanwhile, attendance has cratered across the board. Minor market arenas that once brimmed with energy now echo with empty seats. Corporate suites sit dark. Merchandise racks collect dust. Without Clark jerseys flying off the shelves,
Sport. Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. A truly remarkable sports story continues. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year.
In the wake of her injuries, the WNBA returns to a barren wasteland, reminiscent of its pre-Clark years. Some argue this is the perfect test of the league's depth, that other stars should seize the moment. Yet fans won't tune in if they perceive the quality has dropped. The league can hype X-Factor storylines or push manufactured rivalries, but nothing substitutes for the magnetic draw of a transcendent talent. Clark's absence exposes a truth the front office refuses to acknowledge. In women's basketball, one player can define an entire sport. The comparisons to other leagues are damning. Imagine the NBA letting opponents target LeBron James for dirty plays week after week. No suspensions, no fines, no protective measures. He'd be injured so often that his brand would diminish. The NBA would intervene immediately, but in the WNBA, it's met with platitudes about letting the game flow.
Speaking of relationships, Alyssa Thomas, during the playoffs, she spoke out and condemned racism. The Fever fans.
Even veteran journalist Christine Brennan, the author of an upcoming expose on this very crisis, calls out the league's myopia. One player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears, she wrote, and it stung like a flagrant foul. Yet league officials remain in denial, insisting foul play and hard fouls are single rather than inexcusable. The financial hemorrhage grinds onward. Projected losses of $50 million balloon as viewership vanishes. Television networks demand ratings relief. Sponsors threaten to withdraw, and the players' union watches with alarm. The CBA talks will hinge on these numbers that look disastrous without Clark. So where do they go from here? The solution is straightforward but painful. The WNBA must choose professional standards over quaint traditions. It must craft and enforce a robust player protection policy, swiftly penalizing dirty plays. It must publicize its commitment to superstar safety, proving to fans and sponsors that it values its talent. It must build marketing campaigns around Clark while also genuinely celebrating the league's collective talent, ensuring that fans remain invested even in her rare absences. Until the league reorients around this reality, it will continue to cycle through boom and bust seasons. Fans will grow frustrated, sponsors will depart, and every CBA negotiation will be tainted by the specter of what if Clark is out. The WNBA's future hinges on protecting its golden goose.
Be the way that they want it to be. They want her to be the representation of their racism, and she's not like that.
The question now is whether league leaders will summon the courage to act. Will they finally build a framework that safeguards Clark and every future superstar? Or will they persist in ignoring the obvious, gambling on manufactured drama to prop up their brand until the entire structure collapses? One thing is certain, the next time Caitlin Clark steps onto that court, every empty seat in her absence will echo a demand for change. And if the league fails to heed that demand, the WNBA's renaissance may prove tragically fleeting. The aftermath of Caitlin Clark's latest injury ripples through every corner of the WNBA ecosystem. Social media engagement plummeted by nearly 40% across official league handles, signaling that Clark's absence isn't just empty seats, it's a ghost town online. Hashtag trends that once surged toward the top 10 now languish off the radar entirely. Fans who once lingered in Twitter threads, Instagram lives, and TikTok challenges have gone radio silent. With Clark sidelined, the entire digital conversation around women's basketball has been hijacked by apathy, leaving the league's marketing department scrambling to fill the void.
You have to be careful when you say like the Fever fans, because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlin Clark to be a certain type of way and they thought that.
Even youth basketball programs feel the vacuum. Camps branded Caitlin Clark's Next Generation saw registrations crater by half once she stepped off the court. Trainers who built entire curricula around Clark's shooting drills now scramble to repackage their sessions without the star's name on the marquee. Local gyms that once advertised "Learn the Clark Way" now revert to generic basketball skills clinics, losing sponsorships from equipment brands eager to ride her coattails. The trickle-down effect shows that her impact extends far beyond pro arenas. She fuels grassroots growth, and without her, that momentum stalls. Corporate sponsors are issuing quiet threat letters behind closed doors. Apparel deals that once guaranteed six-figure annual payouts now hinge on Clark's health reports. Companies have inserted injury clauses into new contracts to reclaim bonuses if ratings fall below set thresholds. A clear admission that no single athlete should command such bargaining power. Even stable partnerships with league broadcasters are being renegotiated, as networks question the viability of a product so dependent on one player.
Any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport. Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. A truly remarkable sports story continues.
Those injury clauses read like whispered ultimatums. Find another draw or watch your financial backing disappear. Media coverage has flipped from enthusiastic feature stories to skeptical think pieces. National outlets that once dedicated half-hour segments to Clark's buzzer keeters now run roundtables debating the WNBA's existential risk. Pundits question whether a league can survive a star-centric model in an age that prizes parity. Headlines such as "What happens when your superstar goes down?" echo across sports websites, casting doubt on whether women's basketball has built anything enduring beyond its breakout rookie. The tone has shifted from celebration to caution, and that change bleeds into fan perception.
She was, and so they became Caitlin Clark fans, assuming that, and then they realized like, oh no, she's actually.
Amid the chaos, rival leagues seize the spotlight. International tournaments, once overshadowed by Clark's high-voltage WNBA debut, now dominate Sports Network's summer slots. The FIBA Women's World Cup and EuroLeague Women garner banner coverage, illustrating that the global game can thrive without one player. Commentators note that a well-diversified product outlasts a star-driven show, and sponsors take note. The message is clear. Invest in multiple pillars, not a single monument.
Now, I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting.
Player morale across the WNBA has fractured. Without Clark's gravity, teammates report a surreal emptiness in locker rooms and on practice floors. Some veterans admit to feeling demotivated, unsure whether to push for team cohesion or lament lost national buzz. Even practice scrimmages lack the same electricity. No opposing defense drills Clark's signature step-back threes. No rookie watches in awe as the veteran orchestrates plays. That void saps daily competitive fire, impacting on court chemistry and ultimately game quality. Analytics teams face sudden upheaval as well. Data models trained to predict viewer engagement around Clark's minutes become worthless. Media buyers accustomed to bundling ads during primetime
the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. In this tweet from Christine Brennan,
Fever Games now request new algorithms to gauge audience interest without their keystone player. Without accurate projections, networks hesitate to allocate airtime, creating a scheduling wobble that leaves side-saggable content running on delay channels. The technical backbone of broadcast planning quivers under the weight of one absence. Coaches confront a strategic conundrum: retool the entire offense or maintain a system built around Clark's instincts. The Fever's playbook, once lauded as revolutionary for leveraging her shooting range and court vision, now looks inflexible. Attempts to integrate other scorers face growing pains as opponents exploit the recalibrated schemes. When adjustments succeed, they arrive too late to recapture fading fan interest. The message resonates. A roster designed around a unique talent struggles to pivot on demand. Medical staffs contend with pressure from both sides. Fans and front offices demand a swift return, fearing prolonged ratings collapse, while doctors caution against rushing recovery. This battleground generates heated debates in sports medicine circles. Prioritize league health or athlete welfare? The optics of a team doctor clearing Clark under public duress would tarnish the WNBA's reputation further, yet extended rest risks deepening the abyss of lost revenue. Legal teams stay alert for potential liability suits. If league officials knowingly allowed dangerous play that aggravated Clark's injuries, could that open a pathway for litigation? Player contracts often include injury guarantees, but league negligence carries its own risks. Outside counsel examines whether foul calling inconsistencies or lax enforcement of safety regulations could constitute a breach of duty. The very act of protecting stars may morph into a litigious obligation.
For being the Fever fans.
Yeah, they wanted to latch on to Caitlin Clark and then use her as like this fuel to be able to.
Merchandise revenue plummets. Jersey sales tied to Clark's signature line dominated online store charts, but now shelves clear at clearance prices. Fans trade in real-time gear for souvenir keychains, unwilling to invest in a player whose court status remains uncertain. Retail partners mark down Clark-branded sneakers to avoid inventory backlogs. The retail cycle grinds to a halt until clarity returns. Ticket resale platforms reflect the gloom. Secondary market prices for Fever tickets collapse, turning lucrative scalping routes into virtual giveaways. Sellers cancel premium package offerings, citing buyer reluctance.
From Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears.
Even tickets bundled with meet and greets lose luster as fans grip their wallets in light of indefinite delays. No backup star emerges to absorb that demand. For now, the empty seats, silent hashtags, and stalled innovations stand as testament to one glaring truth. A league's fate should never hinge on the health of a single player. The WNBA must choose: protect and promote every star equally, or accept the roller coaster ride of dependency. The scoreboard ticks forward, and the outcome still hangs in the balance. If you've followed this roller coaster and want to see the WNBA evolve, don't let your frustration go unheard. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment below, demanding a league that protects all its stars and builds a future beyond any single talent's shadow.